Good morning and welcome to Tuesday morning, the 11th of January 2022. And we move on in Michael Card's book today. And the name of our chapter is Matthew, the Penultimate Question. No song lyrics today. He sits in the back corner of a black basalt synagogue somewhere in ancient Galilee. Since no one is looking, he steals a few moments in the quote-unquote seat of Moses, but finds it so uncomfortable he moves to one of the black back benches to work on his manuscript. His friends keep coming to him with the same sad story. Upon having realized that Jesus of Nazareth was the true Messiah, their Jewish friends and family have cast them out, banned them from Jewish life, and now outside of the Jewish community they simply don't know who they are anymore. And so here he sits, Levi, the cherished nickname Jesus himself had given Matthew. He struggles and strains and prays to remember everything Jesus said that might help his confused and wounded parishioners. "You are the light of the world," he gasps. Yes, that will help them understand who they are. And after a few moments, "Oh yes, and you are the salt of the earth," that will encourage them as well. And so Matthew Levi weaves together his inspired narrative of the life of his friend Jesus with the needs of his fellow Galilean Jews fresh in his mind. Though he himself is present in the story from chapter 9, he never opens his mouth. Indeed, in none of the Gospels does he speak. We know he walked away from his lucrative tax-gathering business in order to throw an extravagant party for Jesus. In light of his silence, perhaps that's all we need to know about Matthew. Later, Papias will tell us Matthew collected the sayings, the logia of Jesus. That makes sense. A tax collector collecting sayings. When we open his gospel, we see 5 large blocks of the sayings of Jesus. Just flip through a red letter Bible and the structure becomes obvious. 5 blocks, like the 5 books of Moses. His confused and excluded followers would have appreciated that structure. It was so much a part of the world they were now excluded from. On that luminous day at the banquet in his spacious Capernaum home, Levi remembered sitting in a corner amid the festivities and asking himself, "Who am I now?" His little band of ostracized Jewish followers of Jesus are now asking themselves the self-same question. They simply don't know who they are anymore without their Jewish homes and families and synagogues. Who am I? In time, Matthew realized, though it was a good question, it still was not the best. In fact, he would say it was the next to the best one. It was the penultimate question, the next to the best question. The first ultimate question, in fact, the only question that really matters in the end is, who is Jesus? The sound echoes in the empty stone room as Matthew claps his hands and exclaims, "That's what they need." And so in his perfect account of the life of Christ, whenever the question, "Who am I?" is implied between the lines of the text, Matthew provides the answer to the better question we should have asked in the first place. He tells us who Jesus is. This is going to be so much different from our last book. This is more of a put your thinking cap on and focus on Jesus. Who is Jesus? Who is Jesus? And over again, Matthew, because he is writing to Jews, is Michael Card intimates here, he will say, this happened so that those scriptures could be fulfilled. Yes, the traditional Jewish crowd you once were part of, including your family, no longer want you around. But the scriptures that they believe in have been fulfilled in this Jesus, the Messiah they were waiting for, but were too blind to see. And now we have our own family. We have our own community. Who is Jesus? When we learn the answer to that question, we'll be better able to answer the question, who am I now? Blessings to you today, and let your mind and your spirit be filled with the scriptures and with the who of who Jesus is. Blessings.